Hi guys, PJ here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to hardwire fit a dash cam into a Nissan Note. This particular one is a 2015 model, and basically we're going to be wiring it into the fuse box but without doing any cutting or any splicing. So in other words, you can return the car back to normal if it's a lease vehicle, and of course we're going to be hiding all the cabling so it looks as factory fit as possible. Now here's the list of bits and bobs that I'd sort of recommend if you're going to do this job to have ideally lying around. Plastic trim removal tool, very useful, saves you damaging any of your plastic trim on your dashboard when you're levering bits and bobs off. These are about £1, £2 on eBay, Amazon, some car shops sell them, etc. Multimeter for testing your fuses, because you're going to need a circuit that goes on and off with the ignition. Okay, so if you haven't got a multimeter, a test probe screwdriver will do the job. One of those with a light bulb in the end and you touch something and it illuminates if it's live. So either will do fine, because we're going to be tapping into an accessory position fuse. So in other words, nothing critical, no airbags, ABS or anything like that, something auxiliary such as heater motor, that type of thing, okay, that goes on and off with the ignition. Long nose pliers to pull the fuses out, because there's a little plastic gizmo that comes with the car that's meant to pull the fuses out, and generally speaking they're pretty hopeless, so I always use some long nose pliers. Snips, I normally modify the earth cable, so a pair of snips is ideal for that. Electrical tape for tidying up. A few cable ties. Now, if you're going to be fitting this, I highly recommend you buy a fitting kit for the relevant camera. Okay, so here's the fitting kit for the Nextbase 522 camera that we're going to be popping on right now. Quite an improvement over the 512s, these newer ones, by the way, if you are looking at a camera. These are a very good camera with a couple of mounting solutions. This one comes with a sticky pad 3M back for, basically if your window screen's got a textured black surface near the rear view mirror, you will need to use a sticky pad to mount the camera to the window. In other words, a suction pad, which these cameras come with as well, so there's alternate mountings for it. A suction pad will not stick to a black textured window screen, so you're going to need the sticker. If you've got normal glass and there's no black texture around your rear view mirror, then yes, you can use the sucker. However, with this kit we have different fuse spurs. These plug into the fuse box and basically double up a socket. On this particular car we won't be using the larger one. These are normally for commercial or older vehicles, so we'll get rid of that. This one is fitted with a mini blade fuse. Like I say, it doubles up the socket like so. So we pull a fuse out, shove this in, and you've got a 2 or 3 amp there to run the camera, and the original fuse goes in here that's removed from the fuse box. These are available off eBay, Amazon, again about £1, £2, and you can order them straight away. There is micro blade as well, so just check your car is either mini or micro. Mini has this spacing, micro is a lot nearer together, the pins, okay? This is a UK spec car and it's on mini blade. This is a ferrite filter, and it's to try and stop interference with DAB radio. Sometimes these work with a limited effect, so bear that in mind. Check with your camera supplier for that one. And then a replacement power cable. Mini USB on this end for the camera, terminating in an earth connection which we'll put to a chassis earth bolt, and the power which obviously goes to your mini blade. Next up, you want to prepare your power cable. This is your ferrite filter. It opens up, it's on clips, there you go. And basically you put your cable through it, wrap it around it and back out again, like so. I normally pop a couple of cable ties around the cable to beef the cable up so it doesn't fall down from the headlining, and then wrap a bit of tape around them so that there's no sharp edge after you've cut it. You don't want it damaging your interior headlining. We're now free to get this and pop this up above the headlining. The headlining is made of a fibre substance, so you can normally put your fingers just on the edge of it, pull the headlining down very slightly, go gently. Don't need to be like a bull in a china shop, it's quite fragile stuff, and tuck this up under the headlining of the vehicle along the edge of the window screen. Once you've tucked it along the edge of the window screen and got to the screen pillar, this panel here is flexible, so what we normally do is pinch here, pull the rubber seal down like so, there we go, pull that forward, look, and tuck the cable behind the airbag. The airbag's quite flexy, so we're going to tuck it behind the airbag and down the edge here until we get to this panel, which pops off here. There's a fuse box behind it. So all the way down the edge with your cable until you get to the fuse box cover, which is here. Like I say, pop it off and you've got your fuses to test behind that. And there we have the fuse box. For the earth cable, undo this screw slightly. There's your earth cable. Pop your earth spur underneath and tighten it back up. So with the ignition on, we're testing the 20 amp fuse in the top corner here. This fuse runs the power socket in the car, in other words the cigarette lighter socket. Now when you touch that with the ignition on, you'll get a readout showing you it's 12 point whatever volts, and it goes off back to zero when you turn the ignition off. So this fuse is the fuse we'll be removing and using as our power supply for the camera. Please check your individual car because it may vary depending on where the car's sold and what features it has when it was built. But for us, this is the one. Like I said, I've done a quick test, touch the silver bit there, and it does read 12 rather, and when we turn the ignition off, we read 0. So that is an ignition switch live. That is exactly the type of thing we want, accessory position circuit. Go ahead and remove that fuse. Now get your fuse spur and pop your fuse you've removed from your fuse box in the spare slot. Like I say, if you bought a fuse spur separately, the fuse that runs the camera is about a 2 or a 3 amp. Pop that in there firmly. And then put your fuse spur back in the slot where you pulled the yellow fuse from. Just like so, this way. And connect the 2 bullet connectors together. Running your cable behind the dashboard, so in other words, loop round and up and out. With your camera mounted in place, there's our power cable we put in. This one's for a rear camera, so please ignore this. If you want to fit a rear camera to your vehicle, please check my other videos. I do a general how to fit a rear camera video on the list there. I will link it at the end of this video. So we switch our ignition on before going any further and make sure the camera lights up. There it is. Yes, it does. On it goes. And off. We're now free to tidy up all our cabling. With your rear cabling all tidied up and bunched together, we're going to tuck it behind this trim panel here so it's tucked out of the way neatly, and then pop the end cap back on again. Don't forget to push your rubber seal back home again and tap your end cap firmly on. And that, guys, is how you fit a dashcam into a Nissan Leaf. If you've got any questions, please pop them on the comments below and I'll do my best to answer you as fast as possible. Give me a couple of days though normally, because I do get inundated with questions every day. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.